Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, she isn't divorced yet? This email that I'm going to go through today is a perfect example of why you should either avoid or proceed with extreme caution if you start dating somebody who just got divorced or is recently divorced or recently ended a long-term relationship. And I've got a quote that I wrote in this topic, and we're going to go through this guy's email because things started off great. Girls wanted to be exclusive right away. He's thinking, this is awesome. Met the next great love of my life. And then all of a sudden, things just completely go sideways. He's thinking, what the fuck? I pretty much did everything like I was supposed to. So this is important. I know it's hard to do when you meet somebody you really like, but if their situation is messy, if they're doing a trial separation, or they're still living together, it's just you want to avoid these kinds of messy situations. And like I said, this email is a case in point. So let me go through the quote, and then we'll go through this guy's email. And the quote says, it's never a good idea to date, start dating, or start a relationship with someone who just ended a long-term relationship or marriage. It is also very foolish to become romantically involved with someone who is recently single after a long-term marriage, but neither your new lover or the... That just fucking cracks me up. I can't help these fucking trains. You know? It's like, that's an Amtrak train. It's like you live downtown long enough, you start to recognize the freight trains from the Amtrak trains and the commuter trains. It's like, Jesus. So anyways, but let me start this sentence over. It's also very foolish to become romantically involved with someone who is recently single after a long-term marriage, but neither your new lover or their ex has even filed the divorce papers yet. A good rule of thumb is that most people need about 2 to 6 months of healing time for every year they were in their previous long-term relationship. I'm going to read that sentence again because that is really super important. A good rule of thumb is that most people need about 2 to 6 months of healing time for every year they were in their previous long-term relationship. If you ignore this and proceed anyway, you must understand that you will more than likely experience your new lover being hot and cold, unsure, emotional, flaky, inconsistent, and the relationship will go in fits and starts. The best potential relationship partners are people who have taken adequate time to heal, take care of themselves, and who have completely resolved and finalized their divorces and legal obligations. I mean, that's a great principle, but when you meet somebody and you hit it off right away, you just got to understand, you got to remind yourself that I'm going to proceed. However, there's a really good chance that I'm going to get totally jerked around. So when I was younger, I would get involved with people like this, but as I've gotten older, it's just, hey, you know what? When you get that finalized, get in touch with me. I just stay away from those kinds of situations because this guy he's the poster child for why. And you can imagine this, when you really care about somebody and things start off great and you're thinking, oh, this is awesome, you start to open up, you start to fall for them, and then just it's like the rug gets yanked out from underneath you. It's not fun. It's really unpleasant. So you're going to experience a lot less pain if you walk away in the beginning than if you stick around and then get dumped all over, or they go back to the ex, or they're bouncing back and forth between you and the ex-to-be. So he says, hi Corey, I met a very attractive woman online. We are both in our early to mid 40s. I'm in a serious career slump at the moment, and as a result, I am living about an hour's distance from her city. However, I'm planning to move back shortly, although not because of her. Sure. Hopefully you're moving back because that's the city you want to live in. If you're moving back because you think, oh, I'll be closer to her and things will be better, I'll be there for her more. I've done numerous emails and video newsletters over the years where guys have done that. They move somewhere to be with a girl, and 99% of the time they get there and they get dumped. They get kicked to the curb. A quick backstory on her. She is twice divorced, and she has 2 almost grown children who live at home with her. Her second husband she married very quickly, something like after 3 months. Sounds like she's a little impulsive, doesn't really think things through. So that should make your spidey sense tingle. Think about that. She got married after only 3 months. She's had 2 divorces. And I haven't explained it yet. I know what's coming in the email because I've read it before. But things start off really quick with her. And so you can see this is potentially a character flaw, a red flag that makes you go, wait a minute, you got married after only 3 months of dating, and you've been divorced twice already, and you're telling me that you love me, and you're posting my pictures throughout your house and you want to be exclusive after a few weeks. And then on top of that, they weren't even actually divorced, which he later found out. He says she divorced him because he turned out to be an alcoholic. Another reason why you should date somebody for a couple of years before you decide to get married. Because once you go through a divorce, it's not fun, it's not pleasant, and it can be very fucking expensive. And emotionally, it tears you up. But a lot of people don't think this shit through. She was also involved in a bitter property dispute with this ex, so there was lots of added drama on her end. Again, all these outside forces get in the way of her just going with the flow and having an easy, effortless, and natural thing. Because it's not resolved yet. All this shit's still up in the air. And then here's the next thing. Then I found out she's not technically divorced, as neither one of them had actually filed the papers. Major red flags here. It's like, caution, do not proceed. Take detour route. Bridge is out ahead. Oh, maybe they'll have the bridge fixed by the time I get there. And you step on the gas and floor it. And then when you're at the bottom of the ravine, you're all jacked up and banged up and your car is on fire. Thinking, probably should have paid attention to that bridge out ahead sign. Despite many days of admittedly too many playful back and forth texts, so you were texting too much, phone us for setting dates, we met for coffee initially, then had a second and third date, dinner both times, and had really passionate make-out sessions in the car afterwards. It was great. Afterwards, she was constantly texting me with the usual text like, I can't wait to see you, I miss you, I wish you were here right now, etc. Now remember, she got married to her second ex-husband-to-be after only 3 months of dating. You see a pattern here? That's why it's really helpful, especially when you go out on dates and the woman does 70 to 80% of the talking and you ask questions and you learn intel like this. The more experience you get, you're like, wow, you know what? I think that's great. When you get all this shit resolved, give me a call. Things progressed and we had sex about 10 times or so over the next few weeks when we were together. I usually just went to her place either directly or after a date and would usually stay over as she wanted me to. Now keep in mind, she's got 2 almost grown kids that live at home, right? No big deal. He's going over there banging their mother all the time. Not a big deal, right? So you'll see why that's kind of odd as the excuses start coming out. The first thing that I found odd was that she told me early on that she believed strongly in the horoscope and that 2 Geminis together were not compatible. But yet, when you're having sex, she's screaming your name. Guess you're not really compatible. She would also say that more than once that this is too good to be true. Then she sent me these texts. You better get used to your picture on my nightstand because you'll be having to walk by it every morning. And other cock fluffers, like sending me screenshots of text messages she sent to other men who wanted to go out with her saying, I actually found someone I want to see exclusively. Kind of reminds you of the porno industry. For those of you who don't know what a fluffer is, the fluffer is a girl who basically works on set, and her job is to give the guy a head and a blowjob and a hand job to get him rock hard so they can film the scene. So she was cock fluffing him, if you will, with the text. So he's thinking, this is great, this is awesome. This is what most guys do. They don't know the stuff that's in my book. They've never... And obviously that's probably this situation is what led him to my work. But these are the kind of situations, it's like if you're watching this and you haven't experienced something like this before, you never know. You might run across something like this. It starts off exactly like this. And you're like, wait a minute, I remember there was a video newsletter and this shit happened to this guy. So you avoid a situation like this altogether and you avoid all the heartbreak. And then a few weeks later, maybe you meet somebody else. Or a few months later, you meet somebody else and it just flows together effortlessly. Because she's single, she's available. All of this was even before we had sex the first time. She also mentioned her online profile, and notice they hadn't even had sex yet, and she's already wanting to be exclusive. And how she thought she removed it, but couldn't figure out how to delete it. Yeah, she couldn't figure out how to delete her online dating profile. That should make your spidey spidey sense tingle. She's telling you, oh, I want to be exclusive. It's great. Oh, yeah. But you know what? Gosh darn it. I can't figure out how to remove my dating profile. Oh, well, I guess I'll just have to leave it up. She must have thought I had turnips growing out of my ears. The last date we had was dinner out and a movie, 50 Shades of Horseshit. That's pretty fucking... You got a good sense of humor, dude. You serve a great girl who appreciates your sense of humor. She was caressing my arm and hand the whole time. Afterwards, though, she had to get home to her kids. Remember, the almost grown kids that can pretty much take care of themselves. So the bullshit meter is going... He says, we had another makeout session and off she went. One day passed and she totally changed, he puts in big letters. She only wanted to meet me out for a quick lunch and showed up in sweats, no makeup, and generally looked like a slob. She's always dressed up looking hot, ready to get her brains fucked out, and instead she shows up in sweats and invites you to a quick lunch. This is basically you're getting moved from her rebound lover to I'm going to put you in friend zone backup position because I'm not really sure where I'm able to be at this point in my life right now. I wrote about that in my book. I had an old girlfriend of mine. We started dating. That was one thing she told me when she started backing away. I was like, huh? You're not sure where you're able to be at this point in your life right now? Like, what the fuck does that mean? I know what it means now, but back then I was like, huh? What? Now her text started decreasing, phone calls disappeared, and she became distant. All of a sudden, she now wanted to meet me for lunch, and I wouldn't agree to that again. Fucking smart man, dude. Good job. Hang out, have fun, hook up. It's a man's job to create an opportunity for sex to happen. She's trying to friend zone you, and you're smart and you're saying, I'm not going to lunch. I'm busy. I got business meetings. A week of this, and I made the dreaded mistake of sending, what's going on? Not a good idea. Where do we stand? She responded immediately with, I wanted to talk to you about this. If you would have met me for lunch the other, it's all your fault because you didn't meet me for lunch, damn it. I think I moved too fast, and I'm not ready to have anyone around my kids. Well, it didn't seem to bother you the other night, a couple days ago, when you were on top of me, riding me like a wild fucking stallion, screaming my name out, and they were downstairs, but... yeah, I guess you can't have anybody around your kids. Ugh. He says, my bullshit-o-meter pegged red. Yeah. She kept texting me saying she wanted to discuss it. Why would I want to discuss bullshit? The next afternoon, she called me to feed me a Dagwood-sized shit sandwich saying, I believe in timing. I told you the distant thing would be an issue. I just don't want anyone around my kids. I've talked to my girlfriends about this, and they agree, etc. You know what? You're a great gal, but it's best that we don't talk anymore. When you figure out your situation and you want to see me, you give me a call. But I'm not interested in being your friend. I'm not interested in going to lunches. I don't need this. You wanted to be exclusive a few weeks ago and fuck my brains out. Now you want to hang out and meet for lunch? Oh, you can't have anybody around your kids? Come on. She was all over the map with excuses. She didn't give me the let's just be friends, so I didn't give the Corey response at the time, and I just went no contact. She then texted me 4 or 5 days later to say, hi, are these texts bothering you? It's almost in a way she's fucking with them on purpose. I gave her the Corey response, of course not, I'd love to see you again. Let me know when you have an evening free. She replied with another wishy-washy text, and I never responded, and that was the last contact I had with her. Smart. You tried to set a date, and she didn't. So if she reaches out to you again in the future, you're going to ask one more time. If she gives you that same, bullshit, just say, great. Well, when you figure out your schedule, get in touch with me. I got to run. I'll talk to you later. And then after that, you're never going to ask her out again. And the next time she reaches out, hey, great to hear from you. You might send 2 or 3 texts back and forth. Hey, it was great to hear from you, but I got to run. Keep in touch. If she calls you, talk for 2 or 3 minutes, say, oh, hey, you know what? It's been really great catching up with you, but I got to run. Keep in touch. One of 2 things will happen. She'll either bring up getting together or she'll stop contacting you. So, Corey, what are your thoughts on all of this? So much for her wanting to be exclusive with me, huh? Well, again, you're the poster child for why you don't get involved with women that are not even divorced yet and haven't even filed the papers. And I mean, she was with this guy. know how many years she was with him, but it's just, that's why. This is exactly why. And you're all excited, things are going great, you're getting your brains fucked out, and then vroom, she's out of your life, and she just gives you one shit sandwich after another going, hey, you'll really like this, though. I put some Cajun seasoning on it. You don't like it? I don't understand why. He says, I went 100% no contact since, and I will not contact her. Never, ever contact her again. She must do 100% of it from this point forward. It's amazing how a woman could be 100% nuts about you and then drop all contact like you never existed. I really wanted this woman long term, but perhaps I should have heeded all of the red flags. You think? Thanks for your work, Corey. I'm committed to being the best man I could be using your principles going forward. I mean, you handled yourself pretty well there. The biggest mistake you made was getting involved with somebody who's in this kind of situation. And when you're in a situation with somebody like this, never call, never text them. Let them reach out, make a date at your place, hang out, have fun, hook up. You know, you're an hour away and you're always driving her. Let her fucking come to you, dude. She's not the most desirable situation, but you can have a lot of fun. You just got to understand, hasn't even filed divorce papers yet, and you're thinking long-term relationship. That doesn't work, dude. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I shall talk to you soon.